everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and today I'm actually here with a different kind of video than I normally make. I want to talk about what is happening to Poshmark recently because there have been a lot of things that have been really, happening, and not so good things, and I'm just like at the point where I'm very confused, and I know a lot of other resellers are as well. So I just wanted to talk about that in today's video and maybe get your thoughts on everything that's been happening too, because I don't know, it just seems like things are crazy, and not to mention that sales have been very slow this year, which is unusual. But yeah, let's get right into the video because I think this is important to talk about, and I don't see a lot of other people talking about it as well online. Okay, so as I just mentioned, sales have been very slow for a lot of us this year, and for me, they were on an increase last year and the year before, and I thought this year was going to be double, if not triple, what I was doing last year, and unfortunately, it's way less. And it's crazy because I'm doing a lot more, and I'm sourcing a lot more, I'm getting better inventory, and I'm doing a lot more than I ever was, and I know a lot of other sellers are struggling as well, and it's crazy because none of us could have saw this coming. And you know, we were saying, oh, it's just a summer slowdown, but no, it wasn't just happening in the summer, it was happening all year round. And luckily August seemed to be better than the prior months because man, we needed one good month this year. But yeah, there's just been a lot happening in the last, like, I don't know, 8-9 months on Poshmark, and I've been really getting discouraged by it, and I know a lot of other people have too. And so I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of other people feel similar, but no one's really talking about it, and it's unfortunate because we're all in this together, and if one person's struggling, somebody else is probably too. And so I don't know, it's disappointing, and when you're putting in a lot of effort thinking that you're going to make more sales and you're not, it's just like, what am I doing wrong? How is the algorithm not working in my favor? So one of the things that's getting worse and worse, and this has been an issue on Poshmark for many years, but it's just getting to the point where it's really, really bad and Poshmark really needs to step in and do something, is just the scammers that come on every single listing. And they ask you to email them, they ask you to text them, all these different things. And they're like, oh, send me more pictures. Oh, I can't see the pictures. And a lot of people don't know that this is a scam. Like, you'd be surprised the amount of people that comment on like Facebook groups that I'm in or anything like that and say, oh, is this a scammer? Is this real? Like, I'm not really sure. And I always have to tell people, do not give in to those scams. Do not email, do not text, do not take anything off platform. And a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people do take it off platform. And actually, I've seen some people email people and then, like, you know, they're asking for money or whatever, and it's just really bad. And you know, I used to say they targeted new accounts, but I am not a new account. I've had a Poshmark closet for 6 years, and I've sold almost 3,000 listings, and I still get comments to this day every time I list new items to email or text them. And it's happening pretty much on every listing that I make, and it's very discouraging to, you know, sellers because it's just frustrating that we have to deal with this, and it's making me want to trust people less and less. And I don't know, it's just the problem is getting worse, and I feel like more scammers are getting away with it. And not to mention, like, those scam closets that, you know, they generate a closet with a bunch of random letters and numbers, and they're doing this to people, and it's getting really irritating for sellers, and I'm sure other buyers are getting irritated by it too because they're getting those comments. So I just feel like something needs to be done about it because it's quite annoying, and I'm sure somebody's gotten fooled by it, and it's unfortunate, and I wish Poshmark would do something to stop this. The next problem that I've seen a lot of increasing of in the last year is just people wanting to cancel orders, which I, again, feel like this was never really a problem in years past, but I feel like people are getting more and more picky, and I don't know, they're realizing that they can cancel their orders now, so they're like wanting to do it all the time. And especially for like accidental purchases or things like that where they purchase in a live and they want you to cancel, or you know, they send you an offer and then they want to cancel the order after you've accepted, or things like that. And canceling really affects you in the algorithm. So like, I always don't want to cancel an order, but at the same time, I don't want to send an item to someone then who's only going to give me a bad review because I didn't cancel their order. So it's just really annoying and unfortunate, but again, there's nothing that we could do as sellers about this. We just have to listen. And for a while, I tried a policy of like no cancellations, and I actually still think I have the sign in my closet, but I still cancel because I feel really bad and I don't want to get a bad review because, I didn't cancel the order or whatever. And so it's just really frustrating that this is something that we have to deal with. And then on top of it, that it affects your sales because you canceled. And that's what's really annoying to me. And the amount of people that are looking to cancel nowadays is just getting way, way too high. All right, and the next one that everyone, I'm pretty sure all sellers out there have dealt with, is lowball offers. The lowball offers are through the roof. They're just crazy. And they've hit an all-time high because I feel like they're just, like, people are just really shooting their shot. They want to get things cheap. And I can't blame them because I like getting a good deal too. But I think there's a time and a place for it. And I think if you're lowballing someone hundreds of dollars off of an item, you probably shouldn't be doing that. That's not cool, and it's unfortunate. And I always say, like, don't take offense to lowball offers, and I always say counter even if it's a lowball. And, I talk about how 30% of all lowball offers get accepted and result in a sale, which is great. But I know that it's irritating to get a lowball offer, and we've all been there, and it's more discouraging when sales are slow when you do get a lowball, because it's like, man, am I really not worth anything? And, I've seen a lot of people question, oh, well, it's probably because of all the people that are selling things for really cheap in live sales, or they're running really cheap items. Or, like, I had someone comment on my post when I said I was doing anything under 15 is $5, and someone said, oh, you're the reason why people want things cheap. Well, again, I'm not the only person that's doing that, and again, there is a difference between me selling certain items for $5 and me selling certain items for more, and certain pieces are only worth $5, so it's okay to sell them cheap. But there are obviously items that are not gonna sell for $5 because they're nicer pieces, and so I don't think I'm training people to only want things cheap. I'm more saying, like, you could buy these cheaper items because that's the price that they're worth to me. But a lot of items are not. And so I don't think that's the problem. I think people just have a really cheap mindset these days, and they know they can get good deals on things. And especially because they're paying a lot for shipping. So I think when people get lowball offers, they get very discouraged and they, get really irritated, and I'm right there with them. But I feel like at least a lowball offer is an offer, because there have been days where I've gotten no offers and I would be really grateful for at least a lowball. But I can tell why they're annoying, and they definitely are becoming out of hand. I almost feel like there should be a limit on how much Poshmark will allow someone to lowball you, because there is actually a limit on how low you can lowball yourself when it comes to sending an offer to a potential buyer as a seller. So I feel like it should go the other way around with buyers as well. All right, the next problem that is really gone downhill with Poshmark is the search. And I've talked about this in a prior video. I made a whole dedicated video to how the search does not work properly, and how it's, it brings results up that you are not looking for. And, I've had a hard time searching for items. I know other people have too. And again, if they're telling us to use the search and they're telling us to put good keywords and be descriptive with our listings, then why isn't the search working? Why isn't the search bringing up what you're actually looking for? If I type in the search that I'm looking for a certain brand top that's in the color pink and I get a green skirt, there's something wrong. That should not be happening. I just feel like Poshmark really needs to fix the search and make it better. And especially with the AI listing that they're going to start doing, if that's not going to work, like, people are not going to want to use it. And so I think there's a lot of potential to it. Same thing with the search. There's a lot of potential that Poshmark just really needs to fix, because it's getting out of hand and it's making it really hard for people to buy things on the platform. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about for a short amount of time, because I know I've talked about it before, is just Poshmark taking the customer side on basically any case. So I feel like most of the time they side with the customer or the buyer because they have a buyer protection policy, so they're going to protect the buyer. But I feel like a lot of the times it's not fair, and the buyer could open something and just fake a case, or, have a damaged item, or come up with something that's not really real and get away with it and then get a free item out of it. And I mean, yeah, I know we get our money as a seller, but it's just irritating that they get away with it. And I feel like it's again discouraging for sellers, because it's like, well, we're working hard to put out good items and then they just get them for free. And I don't think that's fair. And I think a lot of buyers actually do abuse the policy. So I think they need to do something about this, because I've been affected by it myself in some cases, and I know other people have as well. All right, the final one I want to talk about is just the pay to play mechanism that you have to basically do on Poshmark these days to have any success. So, I mean, I talk about having a VA, which is basically pay to play because you're paying for something to do what you need it to do. But what I'm really primarily focused on is like the promoted closets or the Posh shows and that kind of thing. Like, if you pay for promoted closets, they're going to promote your listings more, which I guess in theory that makes sense, but I don't feel like everyone wants to pay a lot of money to then maybe make a couple of sales. Just because it's promoting your closet doesn't mean you're gonna make sales from it. So I just feel like it's like there's this whole pay to play mentality of like you have to pay more to Poshmark on top of the 20% fees that you're already paying as a seller. And I just feel like it's getting to the point where it's getting out of hand because they're basically telling you, hey, we're going to promote your listings even more, and that's what you want, that's what you need, but you have to pay us, and you have to pay us a lot. And it's irritating to a lot of us. I did the free trial and I didn't find it to be worth it, and I know a lot of other people didn't either. I mean, if that's the way I have to make sales on Poshmark and that's the way I'm going to have success, then maybe I should be doing it, but I feel like it's just, oh, do this to make more sales, and you're still not even guaranteed to make more sales. God forbid I didn't cancel the promoted closets and it kept charging me. Who knows how many sales it would have actually brought in. So I just think the whole pay to play mentality it's just not, it's not good. And I think there's a big difference between having a VA and paying for promoted closets, because a VA is helping you do everything that you need to do to be successful. And I mean, that's a little different because you're not paying for it to make you more sales. You're paying for it to do the things that you need to do on the platform to make those sales. And so I feel like for it to like send the offers out for you automatically, it's like really nice because you don't have to do that. And it also just saves you time too. So I do feel like it's different, but I could also understand the mentality of like, oh, well, the only way you're gonna have success is if you have a VA, because I do kind of find that to be true. So I don't know, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I know a lot of people kind of feel the same way, where there's a lot of circumstances where they just feel discouraged, frustrated, tired, and I feel like there's probably a lot more tips that I'm actually missing in this video that other people are experiencing or facing. And so let me know down below what you think are Poshmark's biggest problems recently, and what you hope that they will fix, because again, it's becoming hard to be on the platform, and I know a lot of people are actually quitting the platform because they can't deal with X, Y, and Z. And I don't know, I'm only on Poshmark, so I really want Poshmark to be great and I really want it to be successful, but there's only a limit, and there's so much that people can take, and I don't know, I'm starting to really get a little frustrated. Okay, I didn't mean for that video to get all sad and serious, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get these off my chest because I know, again, I've been feeling this way for quite the whole year, and honestly, I feel like this is part of the reason why I didn't want to do the how much does a part-time reseller make video, like the recap videos that I used to do, because I felt like every month I was just, not meeting my goal, or I was lower than I would have been last year, and it was discouraging to look at, where my sales were last year versus where they are now. Like, oh, well, I'm underperforming. And because a lot of that is out of my control. And so I know a lot of other people felt the same way. And so I'm hoping that somebody else, feels not alone in the situation. And I hope this helped somebody out there who was struggling or felt, annoyed just like I did. And hopefully Poshmark listens to us in time and makes some changes and makes the platform better for us all. If you want to see a video on features that you should be using on Poshmark to have a lot of success on the platform, you can click right here. And if you want to see another video on maybe reasons why your listings aren't selling, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.